I am a Tyreek could win MVP guy. Do you think nowadays a wide receiver could win MVP in the NFL?
I mean, sure, I'd hope so. I mean, that would be awesome for the achievements he had in the year. But however, I mean, right now we still got a couple months to go before we're really worried about all that. Our sole focus this week is, I know Tyreek's as well as getting ready for the Eagles and making sure we embrace the challenge of this week.
Frank, I want to ask you about the offensive line. I'm writing about them. I don't have to tell you, in past years, we've written a certain story about them, and this year that story is totally flipped. The single biggest reason for the improvement is what?
Um, uh, you know, the magical powder we threw over the practice field that just all of a sudden changed. No, it's like there is no one single thing that you can really say. It's a I think it's just a collective, group buy-in to what they're trying to do and trying to accomplish, and then going out and upholding to that standard every day. It's easy to say, hey, I want this, and then therefore you know your goal is, all right, it's this lofty idea, as opposed to, okay, daily improvement requires a deliberate daily focus and intensity to the process. And I think that's just the greatest thing that this off season and the way we structured it was allowing for the group to really focus on their individual techniques, their individual collective purpose to concepts. And I think all that is really played into the factor of them really understanding what we're trying to do, how we're trying to do it, and then constantly working to improve and growing every day through their knowledge of the fundamentals that they're trying to accomplish, and then what the scheme is asked, what the intent of the concept is.
When you look at the Eagles' defensive front, you see what?
A very good group that knows who they are. They play together very well. You know, they've had a lot of success there, so they have their style of play and the way they want to attack an offense. So again, like we talked about earlier in the year, as you have success in the season, every game gets more important, and they're going to be a great challenge for us, for what our long-term goals are. Our short-term focus has to be right now on how do we make sure that we're at our best when our best is required on Sunday night.
Coach Tua is often lauded for his footwork and what he can do to get to different spots and different changing of the launch point for the passing offense. And with the quarterback's drop and footwork being timed up with the routes of the offense, how do you think that his skill set with his footwork helps you guys expand what you can do offensively?
I think just when you have a good understanding of the fundamentals necessary to play your position, it allows for you to really play within the timing and the concepts of the offense, and it allows you to really have a great starting point that you can always build upon. So I think when you look at all sports, just in general, I mean, whether you're a offensive lineman blocking, you're a wide receiver getting a release, you're a defensive back in coverage, you're taking a jump shot. Footwork and fundamentals translate through all sport, and it's easy to bypass that and go into schematic things or loftier things, but ultimately all sport breaks down to core fundamentals and execution within your fundamentals. And when you play that way, it just allows you to operate at a high level.
From the time you guys got him, from the time you guys got him to now, how have you seen him train and improve that aspect of his game?
Just every day he approaches everything the way that you'd want a quarterback to approach it, with a mindful, deliberate nature towards how I want to play through my fundamentals is how I want to play for an entire season. So every day he has his whole focus on that.
Frank, was Julian Hill's blocking ability something you saw all along, even before he got here, or has it just continued to develop since the time you got your hands on him?
I think that it's something we saw as a potential on this tape coming out of college of what he could be and how he could really be of value to us at this level. And I think between him and John, they've done a great job of really working on those things. And, the hardest thing about playing tight end is all the different spots you're going to be asked to move, do things. You execute one fundamental in one play and then completely opposite one another play. And it's the ability to have that mental stamina to balance all the different things that you're going to be asked to do and then execute at that time. So he and his approach since the day he got here has been, like you would have thought he'd been in the NFL before because of the way he approached all the little things to try and get better and the extra work he puts in. So when you watch how a man goes about his business, you're not surprised by what follows. And for him, it's no surprise because he's putting in the work, and then he has the ability. So another guy that each week you just see him keep growing and growing and improving in what he's trying to do.
Frank, it says here 46 degrees. This weatherman says northwest winds of 20 miles per hour with gusts up to 30 miles per hour. So I'm going to certainly pack a jacket and some gloves and a scarf. But
Is that your statement?
I'm gonna have the bus.
very cold for me.
Yes, I'm gonna have the bus pull up to the press box and I'll just go down.
In your years of experience, when it is a little chilly and especially windy, how, in all honesty, how aware does the offensive group need to be about that?
I mean, the greatest gift is we are here in South Florida, so I mean, at practice some days we deal with wind just going out on a Wednesday. So I think our natural conditions help us with certain elements. When it comes to a cool day, it's the same thing as when you're a cold weather team going down to a warm weather game. It's just part of there's going to be elements that you have to either allow yourself to be an issue, or you just know that, all right, what's my true focus on? That is on my execution of what I'm doing. But the good thing is with a lot of the elements and stuff like that, I mean, windy days we've had here, and we know how to work through conditions. So ultimately, that place, the wind could blow that way. Anyway, it's going to be about us and how do we execute collectively together.
Frank, what are the top 2 or 3 factors in deciding whether to activate Jeff Wilson this week?
I don't. Again, it's like it comes down to the end of the week if where we're at with guys and what we need for the active roster for Sunday. But ultimately, it's like when guys are ready to go and they've exhibited what is necessary for Sunday, then it just comes down to what are our needs as far as depth throughout the complete roster. It's never just as easy as cut and dry as, okay, he's ready to go, so here you have to balance and weigh the entire group and what's necessary for the game.
You had mentioned last week he already looked ready to go. Is he just even more so this week?
Yeah, it's just, ultimately it's like when the greatest thing you have when you have a position group where you have multiple, you have healthy inactives. Like, so at the beginning of the season, that's the case a lot. And it's just as you get into in the middle of the season, all right, if you ever had any guy who's ready to go and he's down, that's a good thing. So for us right now, it's just it's never as easy as just, hey, one group, so this is that. It's all you have to weigh the decisions for the entire roster that, Mike and Chris have to do every week.
Sorry, I wanted to check with my partner here just to make sure you didn't comment on Eichenberg yet. How did he do?
It's like, again, first stop, you go out and you have to play in that environment up there. It's a great learning lesson. Next stop, you get to come home and really, sink into things. So, again, the growth of the position has been great for him, and we're very pleased with what he's been doing so far. And I know that he'll never be satisfied with the work he's done because, like all guys, when you're always working to be at your best all the time, you're always going to remember the play or two that you wish you could have improved on, but yet there's a whole nother body of work of things that we're really pleased on what he's been able to do for us.
Coach, last week, Coach Embry talked about the red zone game plan that he's a part of and how excited he is to try to get his stuff in every week. Just wanted to get your perspective on kind of the collaboration of the game plan and how much fun it is for you guys to put those together.
My favorite day of the week, I think we talked about last year, my favorite day of the week is Tuesday, and where it begins with, your opponent prep starts on Monday, where you start really, okay, who's the defense and who are they, how do they play, all right, trying to see, all right, how they use their players and what's our overall philosophical principles of coverage in front and just everything. And then as we get together on Tuesday, with Mike and I, and we go through the base plan and it builds. And then, as you get into third down with, the elements of that, and then you get into short yardage, right, inside the 5 offense, and then red zone is the last element to the puzzle with 2 minute. It's just, you're using the resources of your whole staff, and everyone has different perspectives towards the experiences they had. So that's where it's how do we all see the same thing? We're seeing a defense as the way we want to attack it. If everyone's from the same one family, everyone will see it. But since everyone here, we have such a wealth of experience, we see things different ways and how we've attacked that defense in a different realm. That's the fun part. And as now we're going into year 2, you see us collectively coming, together as a staff. You see so much carryover of all of us seeing things. Now we're seeing things more similarly. We have these concepts in this part of the plan that are now, third down guys saw it the same way, red zone guys saw it the same way. You're starting to see that, we all are starting to really see the same things of how we want to attack things, which has been a really cool thing to actually, ironically, Mike and I were talking about last week.